Greetings. Folks, I just got a weird comment on what I think was my channel. And the fellow had two long comments that were, I'd say they were nicely developed, fairly well thought out. A little touch on the religiosity side to me. Very closed-minded, running ideas together in a way that a dialogue is not really possible. And the sad thing is, at the very end, he actually had something that I was interested in. That wasn't the sad part, actually. That was the best part. He covered a lot of stuff. A lot of assumptions, though. I don't agree with the assumptions. But at the end, he said there were two separate trumpets in the Bible, one in Revelations, another one in Corinthians, I think. And they were different trumpets. And I think he had a good point about one being the end of an earth age. But I can't agree with what he says. I mean, yes, the scripture supports that. If you're going to churchianity on Sundays, the big box churches, and you want to be misled and you don't want the truth, then you can believe all that, all you want, and have it. But then you're on the alternative Christ. The Antichrist. Anyway, I was trying to look at the comments and reply. I got this thing saying my channel had been taken down for 3 strikes. I'm thinking, 3 strikes? That's news to me. I had a warning. I had no strikes on this one. So I can't tell if it was an old channel or what. But I really appreciate that little bit of dialogue. It's been the most engaging thing I've had probably in a couple months. Anyway, I'm not going to stress over it. If YouTube wants to take me off, it's their domain, except it really isn't. You see, YouTube is a government program, so we all own it. So they can't just kick us off willy-nilly and enforce it the way they want because it's a private company. It ain't a private company. Unless our government is a private company, which it just might be. I want more comments. I'd like to engage in dialogue, but I also realize I'm a man outstanding in my field, and I'm by myself. I don't like that, but that's the way it has to be. Yahweh says very clearly, I'm not to conform to you. You must conform to me. That's what Yahweh says about himself. That's what Yahweh says about me too. I must not conform to you. To you out there in the audience. I'm just not going to do it. I have to hold fast to the principles, which is why I invite correction, because if I'm wrong, I'll embrace the correction. I will gladly accept it. As I told a friend of mine who is the sister-in-law of Pastor Reed Benson, I called you out on YouTube or on Facebook, and if I'm wrong, I'll make a video on it. I'll apologize, but he's missing an important point, and I think I'm correct. Could I be wrong? Oh, yeah. Don't want to be wrong, but if I'm wrong, correct me. I'll make a video apologizing to you. I'm not trying to be slippery. I'm not trying to be cute or snide. I'm trying to be a realist. We are in such deep crap in this country, we have no idea which way's up or which way's down. I really mean that. The problem we have, there's so much subterfuge and so many bad actors and so many levels to it that it's getting more and more confusing. It is. But I have to admit, everybody seems to have something good to contribute to the overall picture. It's amazing what we can learn from others, other peoples, other groups. If we stop bickering and fighting among ourselves and treat each other respectfully, have good boundaries for one, respect the boundaries. But lot of Rodney Kings out there getting no respect. As I'm repairing my motorhome, I'm finding that there's more problems. Bills are racking up. So even they're telling me it's the most expensive brake job they've seen in the truck repair place, brake specialist. It looks like it's going to wipe me out pretty much. So I have to do some fundraising. I have to tighten my belt. Prices are just going to go up from here, and I realize things can come crashing down at any time. So things could deflate. But these are safety issues. I really don't have a choice. I'm going to go with safety, and I'm spending really big bucks on a brake job. You wouldn't believe how much it is. When it's all said and done, it's probably $1,000 per tire. Per wheel. Well, the man who sold me this claimed everything worked as it should. And he left me the spare parts for all that was wrong with it, which I'm grateful for because that saves me, well, I don't know about thousands of dollars, but it saves me maybe $1,000. But he knew it was wrong. He knew all this stuff was wrong and sold it to me and defrauded me. I will be patient. I will track his butt down. And I will process it to recover my losses. And I'll recover well. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to cherry the coach out and spend an obscene amount of money on it that I collect from him. He's a young guy. Just getting started with a marriage, it's not a good way to start. But if he's willing to do that to an elder, what good is he? So pray for me on that. We are entering or leaving a critical period. I haven't figured out which one it is yet. If I do figure it out, you'll be the first I tell. I'm glad I have this particular coach, but it's become quickly an albatross. And when I get it fixed up, it's going to cost me so much more than it would be to buy one of these coaches coming to the market right now that are in excellent shape that I will have been had horribly. I don't mind losing. What I do mind is losing the lesson. And the founder of this truck servicing brake place described my coach to the other guy. He says, it's a runner. Well, that's why I want to put the best brakes, the best suspension mods. This came with the best struts, shocks on it already, so that saved me quite a bit right there. But the brakes are more shot than I ever thought you could do to a brake system. The tires, not too good. The hot water system, heating system, totally shot. They really defrauded me on that. That's like 10 grand, more than 10 grand actually, for a rebuild. And they had the two fans were shot, so I got to put two new fans in the roof. The air conditioners, one lugs down a bit. I got to try to see if I can clean those and get those restored. I don't want to swap out to the new air conditioners because the old ones are more efficient. So I got to do my homework on that and take it to where I can get this stuff, restored the way it should work, because I'm into efficiencies. And the new stuff, according to the standards dictated to us by the devils that have infested us, they're not up to par and they're not going to last. So it's like you can put the same amount into rebuilding the old thing and make it last a long time, or you put the same amount of money into buying the new thing, which ain't going to last long and it's not going to even be satisfactory. these are saltless cashews. Pretty tasteless. One of my personal trainers said he couldn't eat unsalted nuts. I guess I should salt these myself. Anyway, I'm here boondocking in the parking area of the truck brake repair shop. I have to go to the tire shop, and I need to pick up some fuel. My housekeeper got on my face for the final time, so I won't be bothering with her again. Lack of respect and continuing to break down. Not good signs, not good indicators. I'm worried about her, yes, but I'm more worried about myself because she's getting to be more and more vicious and there's no let up. And I'm extremely worried about her husband. So you might want to pray for that with me if you wouldn't mind. She forgets the good stuff that I've helped her with and done for her. No appreciation, no respect. So I just think it's time to finally separate off. I will pay somebody else to do those jobs as I need them. I know that there are people out there that need work, that are going to be willing to work hard and honest. They will show themselves up, and I'll put them to work. Hopefully I can do more myself. Folks, this is crashing very quickly. You need to dig in. You also need to lighten up a bit so that you can relocate quickly. There's no telling what kind of migrations of people are going to be right inside their own borders. There's no telling which way resources are going to go either. You see, these evil, wicked guys are busy hurting the rest of us and doing things to us that the insurance companies call acts of God, but they're not acts of God, they're acts of war. Weather wars, everything's been weaponized. The difficulty between men and women is coming to a head. So what's going to happen about that? It's going to get worse, it's going to get uglier. We're going to see a lot of women waking up the hard way, the hard side, and really in a lot of pain and agony. But you have to remember, they were deceived and they helped destroy this country. So don't just rescue them. Keep them at arm's distance. Make them prove themselves. If they're not willing to prove themselves, don't worry. There's going to be plenty more available. They outnumber us. And a good man is much harder to find than what they realize. Command respect. I like my posture on that. You command respect. You don't beg for it. You don't ask for it. You don't argue about it. You walk. You walk. You make her talk. You make her admit her wrongs. If she's not willing to submit, have nothing to do with her. If she's not willing to be kind, oh my God, have nothing whatsoever to do with her. And these women are going to be coming out of the woodwork with a lot of anger. So you have to be careful because they'll be lying in wait for you. Like my brother lied in wait for me. So you have to be careful because they're willing to act, assume the role, set you up, get you in a vulnerable position, and then execute their plan against you. They want your resources. Some of them actually want your very lives. The female is the more deadly of the species. When you try to pretend that they're fair and they're harmless and they can't hurt you, they couldn't hurt a fly. Bullshit. They hurt everybody, including themselves, their children. their husbands, fathers. Adults, if you have a good relationship with your child, you probably did a lot right. But you also got the luck of the draw. The social diseases that are going around are nothing short of cancerous. They're destroying us from inside, psychologically. I would like it if you would pray for me to get some good sleep. Like the mechanics here would be inspired to catch things, do excellent jobs, that we might get good supply lines at reasonable prices, and that I can afford to take care of things. Prices in the last year have doubled in this industry. Next year, prices are going to quadruple from what they are now. So that's an 8-fold increase in 2 years. There's a book called Pieces of 8. It has to do with money and wealth. They're going to leave us about in the same status of having an 8th and trying to live on that. People are going to be driven to crime. But some of these poor communities, they'll actually be doing better than some of the rich communities because they will value each other and they will help each other. They will circle the wagons. People are going to be having a come to Jesus moment. You got to mind your P's and Q's. A couple of officers I had contact with today, I thanked them. They handled me as gingerly as they could, but they're still dangerous. They're not safe. And things lined up so I could just get out of there in time so they didn't tow my rig away. The willingness to cut somebody slack and to be kind and all that is going out the window. They're not willing to be reasonable, good neighbors. But I was in a homeless section of town, an industrial section, dead rat flattened out in the parking lot. Could have been a mouse, but who knows? She was flat, gray, white undersides, pretty long curly tail. Didn't look like a rat, to be honest with you. It looked like some sort of a desert mouse. Deer mouse. Maybe one of those that carries the hantavirus. Who knows? I'd love to say I want you to buy my books, but I haven't written any books. Do get the Bible. I guess my channel is still up. Maybe I got my signals crossed in my email, so I got something in error. But maybe it just hasn't percolated through the system yet, so I'll be off in short order. If that's the case, so be it. I don't see a reason to come back on. Not here. If they want to have good content and a broad spectrum, they should leave me alone and let me exercise my First Amendment free speech rights. So they won't allow us to prevail at the ballot box. They're trying to take the cartridge box away from us. And they've taken the soapbox away from us. Man, these are effective enemies. I've wasted a lot of time on some videos lately thinking that they were going to lead to some treasures when they don't. I'd be better off reading the scriptures. I told you, I enjoy being a hypocrite. Yeah. My outing put itself in and I don't understand what happened. I don't think there's enough wind and I don't have a wind sensor that's intact up there to do that. I want you to be kind to somebody. There's a lot of people out there hurting, but a lot of people are dating on others pretending to be hurt. Sociopathic. Be careful. That is going to be coming out of the woodwork and increasing even more so. You have to remember, you don't know what you're dealing with. You could be dealing with an angel in his proper state on a mission, on a job. They look just like us. Or you could be dealing with a fallen angel serving his master. They look just like us. Or you could be dealing with a hybrid. There's all kinds of permutations. It's a mixed up world, it certainly is. And as far as protecting the minority, there's reasons why there's extinction, because it's called for. So stop trying to save the world in that sense, because a lot of these previous issues are suffering because they can't adapt. They don't have the capacity. They lack it. That's all I can tell you. I'm not going to say anything real prejudicial or domineering or anything like that, because there's been too many times when I myself have been the dumbass, and that's all there is. Just remember that dumbass is not a region in the Ukraine. It's more in our own hearts. Oh, I wish that things were going better for all of us. What we need is a rising tide to float all of our ships, all of our boats. We might get that. Some of my visions, I had dreams, just barely, vaguely remembering them, but I remember I was out fishing, deep sea fishing, and we weren't catching fish. We were catching whales with a single line fishing pole, sporting gear, tackle, rod, reel, tackle. I was out there catching whales. You talk about a fight. Yeah. So I think some of these beasts that we have thought have been extinct are going to be showing up. Sadly, a lot of those are probably going to be the two-legged ones. You have to be open-minded. You have to be flexible. If you're not, you're going to miss something and you're going to suffer for it. You need to have flexibility in your mind, flexibility in your body. You don't want to be a rigid old son of a bitch like I am at times. I know some of you think I might have too loose of a mind, too loose of a thinking, too flexible. But you have to be willing to go through the processes, and sometimes they're extreme, in order to get a little bit of truth. I would like you to succeed. I really would. There's lots of rabbit trails being introduced right now, and I've taken a couple of them and fallen into them a little bit. And I don't mind showing that I've done that, because that's just going to keep me honest and keep me humble. Well, I'm getting tired, and I've had a good dinner. And the air conditioning is starting to cool off more effectively as the sun goes down. I'm in a safe place for the night. I've got clean clothes. I can't shower here. Well, I can't wait till I get everything fixed up on this, but It looks like it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars later. And is the rig worth that? No, not really. I'd have been better off waiting and finding something in better shape, but I really thought this was it. And so the fellow defrauded me. So say some prayers about that, because I want to collect. I want enough money that I can have this thing gone through from one end to the other end. Put the best equipment, the best of paint, you know, pay for labor, the intense art, carpentry, whatever it needs to do that. And I want to restore as much as possible the original fixtures to the original state. I'm not going to change things out. They did such a good job when they made this. I just want to, and it doesn't even have to match or be intact, be able to, it just has to be functional. I'm a man, I don't need a heck of a lot. Somebody else gets us down the road can do that to it. I want to be functional. And just getting this thing functional is costing me a couple arms and a leg. I might have one leg to stand on when this is all done. Well, Yahweh's blessed me with many resources. Let's just pray that He'll bless me with converting those so I can put those to good use. May you make the best decisions out there. May you spend time in the scriptures and be blessed by that time, by those thoughts. May the Holy Spirit rest upon you, strengthen you and edify you and nurture you, watch over you, and keep only good angels around you. Yahweh bless.